Thanks for watching another episode of Builds by Bailey. We're going to install all of those new T3 brake parts today on the Corolla. We're also going to take apart all the suspension and try to put as much of that stuff on as we can too. So let's dive right in on this job and start tearing this thing apart. So I've taken the caliper off and it is exposed the hub. I went ahead and I took the cap off of the hub and the cotter pin out of it, and that was holding it all together. Now we can go ahead and we can take the rest of this apart. This hub and brake rotor are all together as one piece, so we can unbolt those later if we want to save the hubs and discard the rotors. But the new kit came with all new parts. So before I take off the brake caliper mounting bracket and the dust shield, I kind of want to point out something. As you can tell, this is not the same bolt pattern as a standard TE72 or KE30 or KE70 standard 4-door sedan Corolla. I went ahead and I upgraded coilovers to AE86 coilovers, and the bolt pattern is different. Now all the stuff on the new T3 parts that I have ordered, they are all AE86 parts, so everything will be able to bolt directly to these spindles that I have. So the original ones are a square 4-bolt. These are kind of a different pattern for that than that. So we'll go ahead and we'll unbolt this, and then the new parts will bolt directly up to the original equipment. So now that we have everything off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start installing our GTX2 Techno Toy Tuning lower control arm. It's completely adjustable. It'll do everything we need it to do. If we decide to track it, it'll work great for that. It's nice and beefy. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start putting this stuff up there and see how it all fits. Now that I've got the GTX2 kit installed, we're going to go ahead and we're going to install our Evolve knuckle. So this is the steering arm that's going to control the steering of the actual vehicle. So this is another one of those that Techno Toy Tuning makes. Make sure that whenever you put the kit together, it comes with these little tapered bushings. Those are actually needed to go over this collar to make sure that this sits right. So we'll go ahead and we'll install that on there, and then we'll put our nut down on top of it. So now I'm ready to mate all of this up, but I've run into an issue. So I have another spacer to add in between the knuckle and the bottom of the shock where the spindle comes out. Because I want this thing to sit as low as it can. This will basically act like a leaf spring spacer on the back of like a with lowered truck or a vehicle with a leaf spring rear suspension. So this is going to allow it to become a drop knuckle basically at that point. So the spindle will sit 1.5 inches higher. So the downside is the bolts that came with these roll center adjusters aren't long enough with these knuckles. So they go right flush to the top of the roll center adjuster. So with that being said, I need to get longer bolts. So I'm at a stopping point now. We'll go ahead and we'll continue working on the brake kit more this weekend and into next week. And we'll try to get all of this stuff put on within the next week or so. So that's going to end this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends.